Now we'll see. Are we all back to main room? Are we all back to main room? Breakout room. If it is.
Record room बंद हो चुका है.
Check. So we'll start with the third this thing that is type of regression. I mean, it is a regression only which is known as the Poisson's regression. So I will just demonstrate the Poisson's regression. And the example which we took, it is diarrhea, the number of diarrheal episode. So if my research question is, what are the factors influencing the number of diarrheal episodes among under 5 children, and how does this seasonal variability impact these episodes? So my dependent variable here is the number of this diarrheal episodes. So basically, Poisson's regression we apply whenever the outcome variable that is in counts. So if it is in counts, and that should be discrete, like it should not be fractional. Number of hospital admissions, ICU admissions, episodes of diarrhea, episodes of ARI. So if such disease counts are there or numbers are there, and you have to see the you have to model these numbers, then we use the Poisson's regression. So many times people ask, like, since these counts are also like numbers, why can't you use the linear regression? Because in linear regression also dependent variable is the continuous variable. But whenever there is a count, the first thing is like it is for positive. Like linear regression can be for like negative data also, but these are the discrete data. It cannot be in fraction. So whenever the dependent variable is in points, or then you have to use the linear regression, not the Poisson. So Poisson's is only when there's a count, which cannot be in fraction. That's how we use it. So variables in this case I have used, that is the diarrheal episodes, which is the outcome variable, and it is the number of diarrheal episodes in past 2 weeks. The other variables are rainfall, which is average rainfall during the season, which is in continuous, then temperature, and then water contamination, which has been classified as none, low, moderate, and high. Household water treatment, which is in the form of binary data, yes and no. Shared water source with animal, that is binary, yes and no. Number of children in the household, and seasonal, which is a categorical summer, winter, spring, and autumn. So these are my variables. So this is the data set. I will share the data set. I think data set has been shared with you people, where we have got the household, the number of children, the season, the access to safe water, the maternal education, and then diarrheal episode. So I will just go to this data set, and I have again used the same option of generalized linear model. So let me shift these back to the main. So if you open the interface again, you can see there is an option of, you just have seen these in the breakout room. This option is for the categorical dependent variable. This is for the continuous dependent variable, and this is for the frequencies. So for frequency, I am using this Poisson's regression. So you can shift these diarrheal cases here in the dependent variable, and in the independent, this thing you can move that number of children in the this thing as a covariate, and then season, and access to clean water, and maternal education as a factor. So if you see, I'm just the other option, assumptions, if you see the other thing, okay, right now I think in the model, all these interaction, I don't need. So this is the intercept. This is the exponent. So we will enter in this case, in case of Poisson's regression, we see these intercepts. This is again the odds ratio, but how to interpret this? So we say if you see the number of children. So we say that if with and this was in the continuous. If you see the data, the number of children is a covariate. That means it is in the continuous variable. So the number of with every increase in one children in a household, if you see this exponent, this is 1.42. So the diarrheal episodes increased by 42%. If you see the season and season one, so season one, if you compare between the rainy and dry, so in rainy season, the diarrheal episodes increase by 1% as compared to dry. If you see the access to clean water, then again, these if there is access to clean water, the diarrheal episodes decreased by 1%. If the maternal education, if the mother was this educated, like not educated or low educated, then the diarrheal episodes decreased by 6%, and similarly, medium as compared to high, the diarrheal episodes decreased by 4%. So this is again the same, but in case of this exponent, this is always done in case of percentage. Here, the odds ratio, which you can see exponent, this is actually it is the odds ratio, but you never express this in the form of like increasing the odds or something like that. You always express this in percentage. That's why I'm always saying that 42% high or 1% high or 1% less or 6% less, something like that. And again, here you see again other variables. If you see, this is just the dummy data. That's why probably you will see that all these are not significant. But yes, if this is how we see the interpretation of this Poisson's regression. Yes, Dr. Arun?
Ma'am, is that 155%? That means the intercept 2.55. First row, ma'am, under
2.55,
exponent.
2.55 we say when all the predictor variables are zero. That means season is dry. That means there's no access to clean water, no. And maternal education is like to the lowest. All the categorical variable is set at zero, and continuous is also zero. So that's the 2.55.
Okay, ma'am.
That means if none of the all the predictor variable are zero, then also there will be 2.55 episodes, this thing
Okay.
of diarrhea. Because
2.55 episodes, ma'am, or person?
no, 2.55 episodes, because dependent variable is the episodes of diarrhea in last 2 weeks. So your dependent variable will be equal to intercept. Did you get it?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. And the subsequent values that we are getting, like for example, number of children is 42% more children will get diarrhea. Is
No,
that
no,
correctly?
no.
If I want
They will not get the children of diarrhea. See, what is the dependent variable here? Say me that. Then you will
diarrhea,
understand.
diarrheal episodes, ma'am.
Yes, in last 2 weeks. So you will say that the diarrheal episodes will increase by 42%.
Okay, ma'am.
It is not in that children overall. If there is a one increase in children in a household, that means the diarrheal episodes will increase by 42%. If there is a access to clean water, yes, then the diarrheal episode will decrease by 1% because it is less than 1. If the maternal education is low, then as compared to high, then the diarrheal, of course, this will not be the situation. It's just the dummy data. That's why it is coming like it will be 6% less than I mean, 6, it will decrease by 6%. So the dependent is count here. So you are just expressing it in percentage, like these many percentages increase or decrease in counts. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? Okay. If not, then I will show you the. So remember in Poisson's regression, the dependent variable is the count.
Actually in the breakout room we could not library could not be accessed in my version. So GLM, ma'am, you took that GLM first. Then there was an option like Poisson. Uh,
Yeah, that
uh,
library, because I told you that don't go by solid, go by current. Did you install the current version?
Actually, I did that the day one itself because when I was going to install the current version, the older version was to be uninstalled. There was instruction that older to uninstall the
No, no, no,
old.
it was not needed. Like in my case, both are there. That's why I've shown you, na. If
Mhm.
you like press demo V, you again install it'll come. You see, I have both these two. This is my 2.3.28 and
This is promised me to uninstall the earlier version.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, it comes like that only, ma'am. It says you have to uninstall the older version to install this new version, ma'am. It says only that, ma'am. I
so
have done it
ignore.
on the laptop. I'm trying to do it the desktop. It says the same in the both versions, ma'am.
Oh, if you don't do that,
Ma'am, I have not uninstalled my previous version. I am
huh?
able to see the newer version, but whenever I'm opening, clicking the newer version, they are showing me the older version. I've shown it in the breakout room.
So in that case, have you tried using this bug one, which I have shown you?
It comes in a command form, ma'am. It comes in the command form. Opens in the command form.
Yeah, you have
When I
to.
I will
when
type
I
the
open
demo.
it, it is coming the 2.3%.
We typed Jamovi also and entered. It still comes only in 2.3, the same version, ma'am.
Have you closed the other Jamovi files?
I mean, Jamovi opened one. Okay, ma'am. Okay. We'll try.
All files should be closed.
Okay, ma'am.
The earlier version, then only it comes.
Okay.
Otherwise, if any file, like if point to it, it's opened, then this thing will not come.
Okay. Understood, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, you were, Anuradha, you were saying something? No, you said that, uh, like I lost the. Yeah,
Ma'am, first thing was I was not able to open the library. It was not. I was not able to open the library, so I couldn't download this GLM. Second is, ma'am, you just when you were adding GLM, there was an option like Poisson. You clicked on that, no? That's I
yeah.
didn't. I couldn't.
This one, like if it is logistic, then you can click Poisson.
Okay, ma'am.
I think there was some, because initially when I was doing it, just to show that time also, I was facing the similar. Maybe you can try tomorrow also. Like,
Okay, ma'am.
see, sometimes the
Last day it worked.
it is writing to me also unable to access library. Can you see? So maybe some HTTP 403, some error, they must be repairing something or doing something. So that's why it is not coming.
Same thing.
Yeah, so that is tomorrow, because I checked with Dr. Shamshad this thing also. His is also not coming. So probably you can try it tomorrow, or sometimes like no, whenever you open websites also many time it says that some error or something. Again, you can do that. I think it should be done. If not, you can write us to on the WhatsApp or mail us. We will help you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, when do we use this Poisson's regression? So whenever there is a count data, we use this whenever the number is non-negative. Non-negative means it cannot be less than zero. And I'm not discussing this over discussion, but these are the two important prerequisite for using this Poisson's regression. Now coming to the conditional logistic regression. So the conditional logistic regression, those of you who know about the matched pair, like case, generally it is done in case of a case control study where there is a matched pair. Matched pair, what do I mean by that? Means if you have selected one case, then against that case you have selected the control. And maybe the ratio can be 1:1 or 1:2, 1:3. Up maximum we take up till 1:4. The option of conditional logistic regression, if although we call it as a conditional, the option comes not through the regression but through the survival. So I will just demonstrate, and this in Jamovi we could not explore this conditional regression. That's why I am telling you with SPSS, if we will explore, but in that module we could not find this option of straight term, which is important for the conditional logistic regression. That's why we are demonstrating it over this SPSS. So now this probably this conditional logistic regression, if you see the data, I'll just show you the data. So this the research question is, I have to see the this thing. If you see the case, and there is one case and I have to predict, let me see the variables, okay. So I have taken women and I just want to see whether whether they are fertile or they are sterile, okay. So seeing their fertility status, I want to predict see their fertility status. What are the factors responsible for their infertility, right? So I have got cases. Cases were like women who were like infertile, and then against that I had these two controls. So if you see, this is the education. I have taken this in the form of a category, and this is the age of the women. This is the parity status. So this education, age, and parity, these three are the factors which are matched. That means if you see the age, if you see, this is the first stratum. Stratum means in one this thing, I have taken one case and two control. That means if you see the case, I have given the number like label of 1 and control as 0. So against one case, I took two control. But these all three will be entered simultaneously. In otherwise also in other cross-sectional or other study, what do? You enter cases and controls in any manner. It does not matter. You might enter 10 cases and then followed by two controls and then again cases and control, and you can keep on giving them name like 1 or 0. But in case of a paired, matched pair study, like the matched case control study, what do? You select one case and then and there you select, simultaneously you select two controls. And here in this case, it is matched with the age. That's why you see all the 3 are of 26 here. The education, you can have a age range also. I'm just for demo, it's the absolute age. And then the education, like it is 0 to 5 year. And then the parity, all is having 6. So all these are into stratum. And then these are the categories, like in presence of induced abortion. In this case also presence of spontaneous abortion history is there. Here these histories is there, but this is not this thing. So I want to see whether there was a history like a risk factor like spontaneous abortion or induced abortion. Are they the significant risk predictors of this infertility? Again, there is an important component, that is the time, which is there in case of a matched pair study. So what is this time? So basically this one is one we give for the cases, and the rest two are the controls where there is no case. So where there is no cases, we call it as a censor, like in survival. Those of you who have read or done survival at some point of time, what do we call as a censoring? Censoring where outcome doesn't happen. So these two controls, we call it as a censor, and this one is as a case. So that's why time we have entered like 1 for all cases. If you see, so the outcome has happened at one particular time of point, which we all give as 1, and all controls as 2, which are the censored cases. And this time we will enter as a time in case of a survival. So this is the data. How do we do this? Like I said, you have to go to analyze, go to this survival, and then go to this Cox regression. So this time is just like to put it a condition. So that's why it is known as the conditional logistic regression. So in time, I'll put this time. Since this education age and parity, that is a matched variable, I will not enter these in the covariate. So I will enter this in covariate and induced and spontaneous here in the covariate. In the strata, I'll enter this stratum. This option we are not getting, we were not able to get in the Jamovi. In Jamovi, we can perform Cox regression, but this stratum, which you can see here, this option is not there. So then you can go to the option. First, here you need to move these categorical and the induce to the categorical variable. If I need the other this thing against 0, so I'll change, because by default SPSS takes the last category as a reference. So I want my first category, so I will press change and then I'll continue. Then I'll again go to the option. I only need the confidence interval, and then I'll press continue and then I'll press status. I have not entered this. So status, I have to enter this case and all, and define event mein I have to write like 1. 1 means the case has occurred. Again, I will repeat, this categorical was first, this is okay, and this option is okay. This is continue, and then we have to press okay. So if you come here and see, this is the output, and this is changed from the previous block. It is significant, and if you see the exponent, which is the 2.89 and 8.4. So if you see the reference category, so reference category in SPSS, it doesn't give you the reference as we see in the Jamovi. So reference you have to see here, like 0 was no, and here also 0 was no. So it is taken as 0. 0 means it is the reference category. So it tells you the this exponent, it tells you the odds of, means it is not the odds, basically this is the hazard. So it tells there are 2.9 times in the induce as compared to the this one. No, and here also spontaneous also it is 2.9 times. So it is the odds ratio only 2.9 times, and here it is 8.4 times. So just to say that this conditional logistic regression, we go through SPSS in this thing, option of Cox regression. Right.
Ma'am, sorry,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, when you went to analyze, ma'am, could you please go to
Yeah.
analyze? Ma'am, ma'am, in that menu, ma'am, where, yes, ma'am, here, ma'am, when we were attempting the conditional logistics, ma'am, could you please go into that, ma'am? Right, ma'am. Ma'am, while pressing on the categorical, ma'am, there was the last and first category. The last would be, ma'am, could you please press on the last one? Categorical, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Last and first, ma'am. Here, ma'am. Ma'am, the last would be the value 0, uh, or the lowest value, ma'am.
No, if you see I have changed it. Why? Because the last, it takes as like with 1. Last means in number as 1. So
Okay,
it
ma'am.
takes the 1 as a reference category, whereas 1 I have given it for the outcome. So that's why I have changed this.
So, so one was the outcome. So, because
Not
of
the
that,
outcome, not the outcome, Dr. Arun. I'll show you the categories. Let's see. If you go to the variable, in case of a spontaneous, this no is 0 and 1 is yes. So last it takes as 1. But I just want this as a reference category. As we have seen in Jamovi, no is my reference now. That's why I'll be able to say. Similarly here, no is my reference. That means the women in there is no there is a, if there is a spontaneous abortion, what is the odds of this? Yeah, what is the odds of this sterility or the infertility? That's why. Why will I say that then I'll have to say the women in which there was no spontaneous abortion. I don't want to say my odds as a risk factor in which there was no, because spontaneous abortion or induced abortion is a risk factor. So I'll talk in terms of their presence. So that's why I will take 0 as my reference. But SPSS by default in JAMOVI, it takes the lower category. That's why we never, I mean, you don't need to change. But in SPSS by default, it takes the last category. Last means number, means if 0, 1, 3 is there, then it will take 3 as a reference category. So you need to change it.
And ma'am, I have to click on the on the last wala button, ma'am. Right? No, the first wala button. The first wala button.
Let me see that first and last. So I don't remember. I'll just see that.
Ma'am, जी ma'am.
I'll go. I'll go. This analyze and then survival, categorical. Like if I will change this, both this, okay.
जी ma'am. तो
I will change this to last. Last है ना?
लास्ट मींस मैम अगर वैल्यूज 0 और 1 थी तो लास्ट का मतलब कि वो
Higher value.
वन
Higher value.
हायर वैल्यू को उठा रहे हैं मैम.
हायर वैल्यू, यस. ये तो शुरू का करेगा, लास्ट का करेगा, तो हायर वैल्यू को करता है. लेकिन हमें हमेशा रेफरेंस, हम जो बनाते हैं कोड, वो हम 0 देते हैं लोअर को एंड हायर को ज्यादा नंबर देते हैं. दैट्स वाई.
मैम सॉरी मैम, सॉरी
बोलिए 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 बोलिए.
मैम. तो इसमें फिर अगर हमें 0 को उठाना है तो हमें फिर फर्स्ट को क्लिक करना पड़ेगा. जी मैम, ऐसे ही.
यस यस, आपको दोनों को सेलेक्ट करके इसको डालना पड़ेगा फर्स्ट,
अलग अलग भी कर सकते हैं.
और उसको चेंज कर, यहाँ पे चेंज करिएगा ना, तभी. कभी कभी करके छोड़ दीजिएगा तो यहाँ पे ना अपीयर हो जाता है, इट विल अपीयर कि नाउ इट हैज चेंज टू दिस फर्स्ट एज ए रेफरेंस. अदरवाइज अगर
तो ये इसने, जी मैम,
बोले बोले आप.
तो मैम इसने फिर, तो इसने मैम 0 वाला उठा लिया अभी मैम, और 0 को रेफरेंस ले लिया इसने.
यस यस, एब्सोल्युटली.
जी मैम, ठीक है मैम.
ओके. So this was the conditional logistic regression. So I think, what do you say? So this was up till if you suggest, I will start, but it's already 4:52. So I'm planning to start ROC tomorrow. So tomorrow we will have ROC session followed by the breakout room activity on ROC. Yes, any other question?
No.
So I think we have discussed today's agenda. But if you wish, I may start with ROC. What do you say? Should we start ROC today? I don't know.
मैम कल ही कर लेते हैं मैम.
हाँ, वही मेरा 4:52 पे. It's not
जी
wise.
मैम, जी मैम, जी.
So we will meet tomorrow at 2 again. We'll
मैम
have.
एक,
हाँ बताएं.
मैम ये there were couple of work, मैम I'll come on the WhatsApp group मैम, because मैम these are too good मैम. तो हमारी जो 4-5 वर्कशॉप्स मिस हो गई थी उसकी, वो मैम I'll speak to डॉक्टर शमशाद मैम.
वो सारा ना आपका YouTube मेरिट इंडिया का अगर आप विजिट करेंगे ना, सारे के सारे प्रेजेंट, सारे उस पे हैं. अभी तक हम लोगों ने जितना भी किया है.
जी मैम,
Even
जी
all the videos are there.
जी मैम,
And it is arranged like topic wise also. You can see them
जी
if you have
जी
missed.
मैम. मैम मैंने कुछ देखे हैं, बहुत अच्छे हैं मैम.
Thank you. We'll send you the link also. ऐसे है, I think you can download the app also. Merit
मैम
India.
हमारी एमडी में मैम किसी ने स्टैटिस्टिक्स को समझाया ही नहीं है मैम. इवन हमारे पास स्टैटिस्टिशियन भी थे मैम, तो दे यूज्ड टू लाइक गिव अप ऑन अस मैम. बट तो वी यूज्ड टू थिंक दैट हमारे में गलती है, बट गलती हमारे में नहीं थी मैम. अब पता लग रहा है, मतलब हम समझ पाते हैं थोड़ा बहुत.
मैं समझ सकती हूँ. I like, we can echo with what you are saying. We can resonate with what you are saying. Because we all have faced this. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपका है. सबका, हम लोग का सबका यही हाल है. हम लोग भी ऐसे ही, जैसा आप बता रहे हैं, सबका हम लोग का हाल यही था. तो हम वही धीरे धीरे, जैसे आप पढ़ रहे हैं वैसे, जैसे सब लोग पढ़ रहे हैं वैसे धीरे धीरे हम लोग भी पढ़ रहे हैं. बिकॉज एज अ मेडिकल स्टूडेंट, लाइक वी वर नेवर टॉट, एंड लाइक it was always something like very difficult and we never used to do this कि यार कौन करेगा छोड़ो इसको types. लेकिन
हमने
suddenly
तो मैम हमारे डिपार्टमेंट में स्टैटिस्टिशियंस जब मैं डी कर रहा था तो डीआरडीओ के स्टैटिस्टिशियंस थे हमारे डिपार्टमेंट में। तो मैम वो नहीं समझा पाते थे मैम, हमें बहुत दिक्कत आती थी।
actually क्या होता है the people who are pure statistician they always they will tell you with all mathematical jargon, you know, differentiation, dy and dx. The moment they write dy and dx, our brain gets
तो
that.
मैम उन्होंने फिर तो मैम दे काइंड ऑफ गिव अप ऑन अस मैम। और जब क्वेश्चन आता था मैम स्टैटिस्टिक्स का तो हम कंफ्यूज हो जाते थे कि कौन सा फॉर्मूला किस में लगाना है। तो मैम हमारी ये हालत हो गई थी कि इवन सैंपल साइज कैलकुलेशन करने का जो होता और हम मैन्युअली करते थे मैम, उसमें भी मैम हमारे हाथ पैर फूल जाते थे एंड वी यूज्ड टू बी सो स्केयर्ड मैम। मतलब एक कांस्टेंट फेयर था मैम, स्टार्ट बुक खोलने का मन भी नहीं करता था।
सही बात है, आप बिल्कुल सही बोल रहे हैं और इसलिए मुझे हंसी आ रही है क्योंकि हम लोग सब जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं ना, हम लोग भी ऐसे ही बात करते थे। हम लोग सब एक ही जैसे हैं एक्चुअली। वी ऑल आर सेम एंड वी हैव फेस्ड ऑल दीज डिफिकल्टी। द पीपल हु हैव जॉइंड लाइक अनुराधा वाज सेइंग दैट शी इज फ्रॉम माइक्रो, ऐसा नहीं है। लाइक जो सीएफएम में भी है उनको भी यही प्रॉब्लम। हाँ, द मोर यू डू gradually you learn, that's the only thing, wherever you are in pharmacology or in community medicine or in any other branch. So this is something where we have struggled, and that's why we are learning and trying that something if we can like teach or something if we can deliver so that everyone can do it. Because with Jamovi, I must tell you that now the interface is so user friendly. It is very easy and it is free also. Otherwise SPSS के साथ हमेशा pirated लो आप, फिर आप उसको लिख सकते हो कि नहीं, सबके पास वो वर्जन नहीं है। स्टूडेंट वर्जन लोगे तो 1 year का है। एंड हाउ मेनी एनालिसिस यू डू, इट्स नॉट टू मच। सो those are the problems, but with Jamovi I think most of the analysis you can do here and
मैम
interface is very simple.
मैम सो बेसिकली अब जो लास्ट समझ आया कि व्हेन वी हैव टू डू कंडीशनल लॉजिस्टिक्स, सो हमें अपने डेटा को भी बहुत तरीके से लगाना पड़ेगा
हाँ, उसमें
और बहुत
एंट्री इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एंट्री, डेटा एंट्री इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट। आप उसमें रैंडम नहीं एंटर कर सकते। लाइक एक केस तो कंट्रोल उसका एक वही स्ट्रेटम जो मैंने बताया ना, क्लोज दैट, बट that file is, I think we have shared that file. You see how we enter the data in one block, and that whole thing is known as stratum. That entry of stratum into that particular field will give
यस
you
मैम,
this
यस
law.
मैम, यस मैम, यस मैम, ये समझ आया।
Okay, then anyone else who would like to say something, like maybe some ask something or say something? Okay, if not, I think a good day to all of you. I think we can call it a day off, and we all are meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
थैंक यू मैम।
Okay, thank you.